I was just checking out this great tit who was chilling in a tree, and he caught my attention because he kept standing on one leg, and I honestly just thought it looked a bit funny. But as it turns out, it might actually be an issue with him, unfortunately, so yeah, fingers crossed he survives the winter. But I was just chatting to a bloke, and it turns out while I was watching that great tit, a marsh harrier came in over the reeds behind me. So I think I should probably keep my O's open a wee little bit better. I've decided to stay put in this one location on this bench for a few minutes, and quite honestly it's actually worked out okay, because the marsh harrier returned, albeit quite far away, but you know, I'm always happy to see one. And on top of that, I've just had a sparrowhawk fly in one of the channels right in front of me, so it was near as damn it completely blocked by the reeds, but real good start to my morning. And just as a side note, while I've been sitting here, there's been a great tit and a robin just landing literally right next to me, which is cute as all heck.
The viewing platform provided some awesome views of wintering ducks, lapwings, a massive flock of black-tailed godwits, and of course my buddies were marsh harriers, who were scoping out the reeds for their next meal. I spent some time watching the world go by with a well-needed cup of tea before venturing off to a nearby hide.
And there appears to be a marsh harrier hunting out one of the sides. Now it's just in a few loops over the reeds itself, and sod's law is now flying in the opposite direction. You know what? Something tells me it's going to be back. I'm actually here this morning under the recommendation of one of my subscribers, and quite honestly, so far, it's actually been pretty good. I've had some really good marsh harrier activity. Saw the sparrowhawk. I actually saw a snipe as well, circling, but I unfortunately just couldn't get a photo of it. And you know what? I believe on the sort of main lake, or at least the first sort of big sort of lake part I got to, there were probably about 100 black-tailed godwits, which is probably the most I've ever seen. But anyway, as for this location itself, it's just one massive collection of reed beds. So of course, this place is absolutely fantastic for bitterns. So hopefully, might catch a glimpse of one today, but as we all know, Bitterns are incredibly secretive birds and their camouflage is insane, so we really will have to get lucky to see one today. But I've always got faith. I've mostly got my eyes open looking at the reeds, so I'm going to have a cup of tea and see what stops on by. Just as I'd hoped, the Marsh Harrier has returned. Now, it's done a few loops around my hide, flying low above the reeds. Now, unfortunately, nothing too close, but there's always time. This is so cool. I keep talking about a photograph I really want to get with a Marsh Harrier flying, low above the reeds, flying dead towards me. But it's one of those sort of shots where I really don't want to crop if I don't have to. I want the sort of full fat quality of the photo. Not saying it's going to happen today, I don't think the light is the best it possibly could be, but Marsh Harriers are always a win. I think I've spent far too much time in this hide now, so I'm going to make a move. But while I do, I just want to talk to you about music. So if you've enjoyed the music you've been listening to so far in my video, and actually all the music you've heard for the last year in my videos, there's one company to thank for that, and that is Audiio.
Audiio have a massive library of music and sound effects created by actual human beings. I've been using their service for the last year now, and honestly, it's made my life finding music so much easier. You can search by genres, mood, BPM, instrument, and so much more. And if you want, you can even drop in a YouTube or Spotify link into their Link Match AI tool, and Audiio will automatically find you something similar. Now, if you follow the link in my description, you can get yourself $100 off your first year of your Pro plan, or 40% off your first year of your Pro Plus membership. And again, these guys have been supporting me for over a year now, and honestly, if you create your own content like I do, or if you have to create media for work, they really are worth checking out. They've been so good. Anyway, let's get back to the field and see how I'm getting on.
I've found myself a Kingfisher. Now he's very, very far away, and quite honestly, I'm not really sure how I managed to spot him, because when he's facing towards me, he's essentially invisible against the reeds. It's only when it really turns around and you can see that blue flash of its rear feathers, that's when you can see it. But not a bad little spot, that. Again, I don't know how I managed to spot that. I'm kind of impressed with myself on this one, but hey, I wish it was closer, but oh well. very glad I came down this way because I've just found a great white egret feeding in between like one of these little gullies made in the reeds itself. Now I've been watching him for a couple of minutes or so, just doing its thing, but I should now know there's actually been a bit of behavioural change, a bit of a behavioural change even, sorry, it's very cold. So he's actually sort of stopped moving, he's sort of frozen up a little bit, and I think he's now aware of my presence, which basically means it's time to go. So I'm going to leave the little buddy, I'm going to let him carry on with his morning, so he's just down here. I'm going to let him do his thing. So see you later, mate. It's really lovely seeing you. I must mention the weather in pretty much every video I do, and that's pretty much because currently right now I'm filming in the middle of December, which means here in the UK it's wet, it's windy, it's cold, and quite honestly it's just not that nice being outside. So I've already tried to film, I think it's actually twice this week, and on each occasion I've been completely rained out. I figured I'd give it a try, I might see something cool, but both occasions I came back essentially empty-handed. But it got me thinking. So I am actually kind of half tempted to get a portable hide. So I've seen some like Audiio falcons or some of the Trappagan smaller ones. And I'm thinking in particular, as a marsh harrier goes over, so I'm thinking in particular very small one-man hides, very low to the ground, you know, they're kind of like, almost like little tunnels you can lie in. But I've got absolutely no experience with them. And you know, I've checked out a few videos from some really cool folks, and you know, they always seem pretty cool in the videos, but I'd love to know from anyone who's actually got one. So has anyone here got one of the Audiio hides, one of the Trappagan hides? Do you actually rate them? Do you think they're worth it? I would love to hear your opinions. I've just been absolutely surrounded by little woodland creatures. So your blue tits, your dunnocks, your great tits. But the star of the show was the goldcrest. So the goldcrest are the UK's smallest birds, and they tend to stay really deep in the undergrowth, so it can be really, really difficult to photograph them at times. But I've been really lucky because I've had a few which have actually been quite showy. So I've managed to get a little bit of footage from them. Anywho, I think I'm almost back to the car park now, and I can hear people off in the distance. So I would just love to say thank you so much for joining me once again. So if you haven't, please consider liking, subscribing, and you know what guys, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers folks.